I remember when I first moved to Miramar, and I had already known you guys for a little bit at this point, but I went from Hollywood to Miramar, and I pranked my whole entire neighborhood. And the way I did this was um, my grandmother, for anybody who doesn't know, my grandmother was hard of, she couldn't see very well. So she was legally blind, but she could make out little whatever. It doesn't matter. My grandmother was legally blind, and she had one of those walking sticks. You remember the red, white, black walking sticks that you could unfold
Mm.
and then you could like sweep in front of you to make sure you don't bump into anything. So she had one of those, and she had these big pair of glasses that she would wear. And so when I moved from Hollywood to Miramar, the first thing I did was I grabbed that, like literally getting out of the truck to go into the house. I grabbed her walking stick and I grabbed her glasses and I exited the car as if I was blind, and I felt my way up to the house to the front door. And Donovan, my road dog, my younger brother Donovan, he like looped arms with me and helped me into the house, like not even questioning what I was doing. Like no question whatsoever. I'm down. I'm down to do this. And so for the next 3, 4 months, every time I walked outside of the house, I would fucking have that stick with me. And like just for a few minutes, bro, I would walk out of the house, I'm going to school. I'd walk. Donovan would help me to the car, and my mom would be like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? Like, what are y'all doing?" So we would just laugh and shit, and it wasn't a big deal. But then I would come back home, same thing, fucking every day. Like I remember one time, my friend, my neighbor across the street from us, his name was Etosh, rest his soul, R.I.P. Bro. But my buddy Etosh, he was like, I came outside, like I walked outside with the cane, and I'm tapping around, and I went to an orange tree, and I don't know if y'all know, but orange trees, those grapefruit orange trees, they have like thorns on them. And so
Mm.
I'm like feeling my way to this tree trying to get an orange, and I'd be like, I got to the tree. I got my glasses on. I got my fucking stick. I'm waving it in front of me. I get to the tree, and I'm like, I reach in to try to get an orange, and I pull back because I'm like, oh my God, that hurt. And I reach in again, and I stood outside that tree for like 20 minutes, quote unquote, trying to get an orange, and kept getting stabbed by the thorns. And it was, the funniest thing was he told me that him and his mom sat there and watched me from the window. they, they watched me from the window, and he was like, should I go help him? She's like, no, he's got to do it himself. If his family's not helping him, if his family's not helping him, then you shouldn't go help him. Let him do it himself. Right? So to make a long story short, we did that for literally like 3 to 4 months. I was doing that every day. I'd go outside, like I'd cross the street, and he'd be like, oh, mom, he's crossing the street. He's crossing the street. Nothing. Never came out to help me. On the day that I finally got found out, I walk outside. I got my cane. I'm feeling around. I feel around to the car. I get in the driver's side of the car. I fucking put the thing away, the cane away. I close the door. I start the car up, and I start to reverse. And my neighbor Etosh comes running out of the house. He's like, hey, he's driving. Somebody get the bike. He's driving. And then, like, Donovan runs out of the house, and he's like, oh my God, go tell my mom. I'll help him. I'm going to stop him. And so Donovan runs over to the car to help me. Etosh runs into my house to tell my mom, oh my God, your blind son is trying to drive the car. He's trying to drive the car. Thought, I'm fucking dying. I'm in the car laughing. And that's how I came out to my neighborhood is not blind. Like, just like everybody thought I was blind apparently.
You're worse than I am, man.
How was that worse? How was that worse?
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. That's worse.
That's not worse. That was good, clean. That was good family fun right there, bro. And I only know this because my friend Etosh would tell me, like, randomly, at like random times, he'd be like, yo, remember that time you pretended to be blind for like 6 months? I was like, it was like 4 months. But yeah, I remember that. Like, yeah, that shit was
That
great.
is some dedication, man.
It was. Like, that's my version of telling a prank, is just watching people spin. Just watch them spin.
Yeah, no, I guess I'm more intense than that. I like to I like to harm and maim and ruin their lives.
So basically, what we're advertising to the listeners is don't get to know us personally, because Rudy will ruin your body and I'll ruin your fucking mind.